Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sides of the Best Part, a podcast where we learn about the amazing passion projects undertaken by college students that are not related to their major. Once again, I'm your host, Lola Ojamo, and we have with us Nadia. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Nadia. I'm a senior international business major here at the Smith School. My businesses have to do with dance and hair braiding, and they're two things that I really enjoy and have decided to make revenue out of.
Nice, nice. So, when did you start getting involved with hair or with dance?
Hair I've been involved with since I was really young. Funny thing is, I don't actually remember like sitting down and teaching myself or learning. It kind of just something that I started to do.
Right.
Same with dance. I feel like I've been dancing since I was in my mother's stomach. So
Nice. So yeah, we're both on the UMD Afro Chic, the female African dance team, and Nadia makes choreography within like 2 seconds. So I can personally vouch that like her dance skills are top notch. So what made you interested in taking like these interests that you have and actually making them into these like tangible businesses and projects?
So for my primary business is hair. I've never had a job. I've never had any kind of formal job, and I have adult bills. I have rent, I have car insurance,
Right.
and I'm on my own. So it's kind of I guess with hair. It started off as a hobby and just something I liked to do. I would see it being done and I would just pick it up and I would do my own hair. And I kind of just didn't want to wait for my mom to always book an appointment or for something to always happen for my hair to be done. So I would do my own hair. And it kind of just came in handy, when stuff wasn't going exactly right with my family. Kind of just came in handy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I have something that requires no investment. Literally, you don't need to have anything to know how to braid except the skill.
Right.
And I had it. So I was like, you know what? I can add some extra income to the family. I can do something. And so that's how it started. And from then on, it never stopped until still to this very day. With dance, it's kind of something that I really enjoy. Dance is my passion. And so while I do make money from it and I do want to continue, I'm allowing the process of me making money with dance to be a slower process, because I do want to spend time doing a lot of charity events. I do want to spend time working with people who may not have funds to pay for things and things like that. So using my hair business to be able to fund and make up for the lack that I may be experiencing currently with being paid in the dance world, it kind of offsets and it allows me to do what I treat dance as a passion, and not be searching for money and be a starving artist, as people like to call it.
So when you first started braiding hair, when did like people start paying you for it, or when did you start charging people for it?
I got my first client when I was in seventh grade. I got my first client in seventh grade. I would always do my own hair, and then someone came up to me and asked me who did my hair, and I was like, it's me. And then she let me do her hair, and then after that, like, I don't know what that girl had, but she had the word of mouth spread from that one person, and since then it's been a cycle, and I have never been without clients. So
yeah, I think it's really interesting because you're like the first person on the podcast who's doing something with a passion and their passion's making them money, and they still have a primary business that's making them money, and then they're still like doing college stuff at the same time. I think that having those three things that must really take a lot of your time must be like a lot. So like, how do you manage working with those three?
It's been really, really hard. It's gotten a lot harder recently and just lately, because especially in college when you need to get certain grades, you need to pass, and you pay for it.
Yeah.
So it's gotten hard to manage it. Really, honestly, literally, it's only God. I really don't know. I really don't know. Oftentimes it is a lot of stress and it is a lot of but for me, I have to kind of look at the end goal, and I know that school is not a forever thing. I'm a senior now and I'm graduating in 3 months. So that is going to take some off of my shoulders. And I just know that I just kind of keep the mindset that everything I'm doing now is going to pay off, because when I think about decreasing stress and, you know, kind of making life easier for myself now, and think of dropping any of the things I'm doing, and I look in the long run, it wouldn't benefit me to have done that. So I'd rather, you know, kind of grind it out now and be able to look back and be like, you know, I worked for this. So
yeah. So specifically with dance, I know that like with braiding hair, that's a skill that once you acquire, it doesn't really necessarily go down. But like dance is something that if you want to reach, it's like a personal goal that you can reach. You have to like continuously work at it. So how did you consistently push yourself to get better and better as a dancer?
I continuously took classes. I still take classes because training never ends. Sure. Yeah, I take classes. I practice. There are people who I look to on social media, and I look to on YouTube that I can use to train, because a lot of Afro styles are street styles, and you can't just learn street styles in the classroom because they're street styles. They're created on the streets of Africa or Jamaica if you're learning dance hall. So I learned these things from YouTube, from people who are in the countries that I'm trying to learn from to get the authentic style, and I train in the classroom as well with people who have been there and picked it up, and are able to teach me certain things. And just continuously being a part of teams, because being a part of teams, even when I don't necessarily feel like practicing, it holds me accountable to do some kind of dance every single day. And it holds me accountable to perform when I need to perform. Also, of course, the money aspect, because when you get to a point where people are wanting to pay you for video shoots and things like that, you can't bring mediocre product, because you are giving them a service. So if people are like, oh, this girl does the same things every time, that routine, she did it in this video shoot, that video shoot, and these are people's video shoots for artists or you know, movie shoots, they don't want to see that you're doing the same thing for them that you're doing to somebody else's, because, you know, everyone wants to stand out in their own way. So that's definitely motivation for you to, you know, continuously better yourself. Right.
Yeah, it's always a big thing when it comes to more creative passions, more passions that lie within like music or art or dance, that you really have to push yourself to keep going and to keep learning and to keep moving, because those are things that if you don't do for a while, you might like fall behind the trend, or those are things that if you don't do for a while, like your body won't react the same way and you won't be able to keep up with it the way that you once used to. So,
but funny enough, it is the same with hair, because there are so many styles coming out of nowhere.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like there's styles coming out of nowhere. There came distress locks, and then there's like gypsy locks and all these things. So the foundation is the foundation is the braid, but then people like, oh, I don't want my aesthetic leads to have started with the braid at the top. I want the invisible root method, or I want this, or I want my locks, but I want my locks gypsy locks, or I want to add the curls. It's like all these styles are coming out of nowhere. So it's like you do have to stay on your toes. Like you have to stay on your toes. You got to know, okay, and that's another reason why people don't want to go to these African shops, because they're very, very neat, and their technique and their foundation is so solid, but their development isn't up to par with what we want to see as, you know, young people and just people in America. They're not up to par. They don't have the social media, and they're not on their toes about learning and continuously evolving with the styles.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I actually never considered the fact that, like, just doing anything where you have to keep up with the trend, it's a continuous learning process. And it's actually really good to like make sure you keep yourself in the mindset of, no matter what I'm doing, like things can change and you have to like keep up with it. Yeah, that's really big. All right, so we're just going to take a break from the interview and do this segment called The Best Part of Sides, where we basically just talk about unpopular food opinions that I send out on my personal Instagram, and you guys vote on it. Currently, this is being recorded from my phone because, like, I hope everyone listening is doing, we're all quarantining. So please remember, if you do not need to go out, please stay inside and practice social distancing. And also keep our health workers and anyone who has already contacted COVID-19 in your thoughts and prayers. And so excuse any poor recording quality. This is what we have to work with because we do not have the pleasure of McKeldon's amazing microphones. So just to get into it, we, of course, started with some yes and no questions. I asked pineapple on pizza. Now, This is kind of controversial. Everyone, has their own thoughts about this, but I've already said my piece. Pineapple on pizza is amazing. And if you say no, you have a childish palate. I'm sorry to tell you. You might want to get out there, try new things. Pineapple on pizza is amazing, and everyone has said yes because 27 people voted for yes, and while 25 people voted for no, so that's 52 to 48%. So obviously that is the superior opinion. To everyone who voted pineapple on pizza, I know who I can eat with now. So the next question was, are hot dogs a sandwich? Now, I want to say no, because it's not two pieces of bread on top of something. It's one piece of bread with something in the middle. That's not necessarily a sandwich. That's like not a wrap. I don't know, like a quesadilla. A quesadilla is not a sandwich. So but a lot of people said no. 24 people said no, and 16 people said yes. So obviously it's not a sandwich. That's just a consensus there. So I asked, what is the worst vegetable? And y'all gotta go. Nanette said all of them. Okay, y'all gotta go out and eat some good stuff. I'm seeing a lot of Brussels sprouts. You guys gotta cook them right. I don't know what y'all doing. Eggplant or zucchini? No. Well, eggplant, I don't know about. Eggplant's nasty. Zucchini, though. Zucchini can hit. I don't know about that. Asparagus isn't good. String beans are good. Don't play with me. Cauliflower, yeah, cauliflower is bad. Peas are bad. Tomatoes. If you're African and you're saying tomatoes, I don't know how you can say that. That's the basis of how are you eating stew? Okay, please. There's no tomatoes. Radishes are bad. Yeah, I gotta give y'all that. Artichoke. I don't think I've had artichoke. I'm actually kind of curious as to what that tastes like. Maybe one day. And then the last question was just, what are some overhyped food places? Those places that everybody speaks the praises of, but you think it's average. Someone said Chick-fil-A. That is very true. Personally, I think there's only so many times you can eat Chick-fil-A until it starts just being regular food to you. And it's it's okay now. Burger King, I don't even know who's eating Burger King that much, to be real. I'm seeing a lot of Chipotle. I don't know about that, y'all. Maybe it's because I don't have that much money, to be honest. So whenever I have money, that's when I get Chipotle, and that's not that often. So I think because I don't eat it that much, anytime I get Chipotle, it's just a joy to me. So I have to disagree. Shake Shack is so overhyped. It is expensive for no reason. It's not that good. Five Guys. Okay, I have never actually tried Five Guys. I've heard that something about Five Guys is good. I don't know, but I don't know. I've never tried that. Sugar Factory. Oh, what is Sugar Factory? That sounds interesting. In-N-Out. Now, who on the East Coast is telling me some In-N-Out? Shay, I know this is you, because who is eating In-N-Out over here? Unless I have some California followers, which I know I don't. So, okay, sure, In-N-Out. I mean, I guess I want to try it still. And lastly, someone said everywhere except for African restaurants. Okay, they're not wrong. African food is peak, so I'll give y'all that. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of our segment. Once again, I will be sending out more unpopular food opinions sometime the next week. If you want to vote on them or say your thoughts, you can vote at It's Omolola on Instagram. That is ITSOMOLOLAA. And also follow this podcast Instagram at Sides Best Part. Also, remember, practice social distancing. This is March 28th, 2020. Hopefully, if somebody comes across this podcast in May or June, we won't have to worry about this. So, it is what it is. Thoughts and prayers, guys. Thoughts and prayers. Okay, back to the interview. So when you really got serious about doing hair and when you really got serious about being a dancer and you're like working in college and everything, do you think that you've developed like the ideas about your capabilities have changed?
Yes, definitely. Because even now, sometimes I look back at stuff, I'm like, I don't really know how I did that. Like, even sometimes one day, I can look back at a day and how my day went. I'm like, how did I do that? Like, as a human being, be able to do all these things in one day.
Right.
But, it kind of really just teaches you that, like, passion is important. Like,
Yeah.
anything can be happening, but I strongly believe that, like, if you have the passion and you have the desire to do something, you can literally do anything. I don't believe in like obstacles at all.
Wow.
Like, it just it's not real to me.
Hmm.
I think that there can be things that can make it difficult,
Yeah.
but somehow when you really have a passion and a drive, you can literally do anything. There's I don't think there's anything that anyone can't do, and if you can't do it, it's because you don't really genuinely have the zeal and the desire to. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. People might take that as, oh, well, are you saying that I'm lazy? No, you're not. But you need to find that thing or those things that make you want to work that hard, that make you want to literally do that, and focus on that. Because sometimes people like something, but they don't know that they don't like it enough. They think that but I encourage everyone to find those things that really, 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 really make you want to go the extra mile. And you'll know it. You'll know when you find it, because you'll find yourself doing a lot more than everyone around you for that thing.
True.
So,
yeah, I often like think of when we say we're going to jump over hurdles, like if you're actually running in a track race and you have to like jump over the hurdle, there's nothing that's going to stop you from doing it. Once you hear the gun go off, like you're gonna go over the hurdle whether you like it or not. And by the time you reach the finish line, you're like, wow, like I went through all of those and I got to the end. So even though you might see like there are hurdles in your path, like you're not thinking about it. You keep running and you keep pushing past it. So I think that's like really great advice to not really think of things as like obstacles or roadblocks, but things you have to get through, else you're not gonna finish the race at the end of the day. Yeah. So like for next steps for you, you said you're graduating in 3 months, and then dance and the hair business. What do you think things are gonna look like after you graduate?
So after I graduate, so right now I have a mini salon. Opened it in September of last year. I have 2 employees currently and a contractor. So I'm going to continue to work on the first model and, just kind of develop that. And for dance, I want to train and I want to be able to travel, once I graduate. So that's why I kind of decided to open my salon when I did that way, and to hire people when I did that way. When I'm gone, I could still make money, because, with how it was before I opened my salon and before I hired people, it's just me. So if I'm not there, I can't make money. So if I got to travel, I have to work and I got to save, because when I leave, bills still have to be paid. But thank God I was able to, hire people, so that way when I'm gone, they're working and I'm still making money. So that's kind of the model I want to follow. And if this, works, it's really hard learning how to manage people, because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a business person, but it's all a learning process. So now it's like I'm managing people and I'm paying people. It's just it's a lot to take in. So I kind of want to let this kind of sink. And if this by God's grace, it will work well. I do want to open up kind of like a franchise of mini suites.
Nice.
In different areas, and I want that to kind of grow, and that way I can focus on my primary passion, which is dance. So eventually I don't want to do hair. I probably will take a few clients, every month, like owner takes the clients or whatever. But essentially I want to manage, and I want to have that as a solid business, and then I want to move to my passion and be able to dance and travel and do whatever I want to do, without having the crutch of funds, and without having the crutch of having to be physically in the workplace, and I can move freely and do what I want to do. So that's essentially what I see myself doing after college.
Yeah, that's really big, because for a lot of like these creative careers that a lot of people want to take, it's like, do you want to be the quote unquote starving artist, or do you want to put something or do you want to put something in place that like keeps you secure? And we both come from like African backgrounds, and a big thing for African parents is like, whatever you're gonna do, especially immigrants, it's like whatever you're gonna do, you need to make sure you're good. Like, you need to make sure you're making some form of money. You need to make sure that you're not struggling, because the last thing most immigrant parents want to see is that I brought my child to this country and now they're struggling the same way I've had to struggle. So I think that mentality can really be widely applied to anyone who's thinking of taking a passion they're doing along with college, and it might not be your primary major, but you want to continue it after college. It's always worth remembering, like, you need to have something in place that's not going to put you in a position where you're going to be even more stressed, because your passion always needs to be developed and it needs time, and it's not something, I mean, if it's a hobby, that's great, but if you really want to see it like with Nadia has it, if you want to see it as a career for you, it's something that you're going to have something in place to keep you moving, so that doesn't have, so your passion doesn't have to fall by the wayside, because you need to like keep up in our capitalist economy and everything like that. Yeah. So you sort of said some encouraging words earlier, but just like lastly, if you had someone who was asking you for advice on how to push their passion even when they're in college and doing a lot of different work, what would you say?
It sounds so like basic, and it's so weird because we've been told this since we were young. But I feel like somehow when you're actually in the, you're in the kind of situation, it hits different, and you actually see why people say it. So my advice would just be to don't give up. And it's annoying that that's what I'm saying, right. But at the end of the day, that's the key. Don't give up. Don't give up. No matter what obstacles you face, do not give up. If you need a break, take the break, but do not give up. Like, and always keep the bigger picture in mind. Keep the bigger picture in mind, because when you are focused on a goal, it helps you to just run towards it, versus when you're focused on, small things. Like, focus on the big picture. Like, actually envision yourself. What do you see? Like, literally, you need to see a picture. If you can't see what you want to be, it's not, there's nothing. You need to see it, write it. This is what you want for yourself, and go after it, and don't give up, because you have a goal. And when you have that goal, the goal is so detailed that you might not know how you're going to get there, but you know that this is where you need to go. So you're going to keep going. And I just think not giving up will really, really, that's the key to anything, for real.
Nice. That sounds great. So do you have any socials, any handles for like your businesses? And
yes, I do. So my Instagram handle for my hair business is Blessed Braids, BLESSED Braids _. And for my dance page, my handle is Nadia.NK _dancer in French. So DANSEUR.
Nice. Well, okay, that was Nadia, and this is Sides Are the Best Part, and we will see you guys next time.